On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you in your marriage?
That's a hard question. Why would you do that to us?
What does Marcy do that makes you aware that she's a submitted wife?
Yeah.
She argues on everything.
Lady or gentleman, thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode at the Corner Seat. If you're new here, I'm your host, Rosita. We are coming to you from Lake Elementaita Mountain Lodge, and let me tell you honestly, this is such a beautiful place. Well, it's a bit cold, but y'all, it's amazing. The view is amazing. You can actually see Lake Elementaita from here. It's just beautiful. In case you're wondering where it is at, it's in Nakuru County along the Naivasha-Nakuru Highway at a place called Kasambara, 7 kilometers away from the highway, and make a point to visit this place. Today's episode, I have an amazing couple on set today. Lady or gentleman, meet Marcy Masika and David Muguro. Welcome, Sana, to the show.
Asante sana. So I think it's Marcy Masika. I think this is David and Marcy Masika Muguro.
Okay, so you're the Muguros.
Muguro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
The Muguros. How are you doing?
We're well.
You're well? On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you in your marriage? Msiangaliane.
I'll start counting.
Yeah. I think he really needs to count. Am I happy? It's a hard question. Why would you do that to us? I think 9.
9?
Yes.
David?
If there was a way to add from 10,
Him, he's very happy.
Extremely happy.
It's a privilege to have the opportunity to live with someone you love, treasure, and at the same time love what they do, work with them. It's a family beyond family. I don't know. So if there could be 11, 12, or the end of that count.
That's what you'll take.
Okay.
That's how wisdom.
Amazing. Now I see why you love him.
Yeah.
When you were single, did you ever have a list of qualities you want to have in your partner?
Yes, I had.
You did?
Yeah.
Kulikuwa na vitu kama gani?
Sikumbuki. Things like what? What did I want?
You didn't want us.
I forgot. I wrote a list. I remember I
singer.
went to the prayer mountain to pray.
Oh.
And then I had a list of what I wanted to tell God. And so when he came, I realized that the list was totally, correct. But I just don't remember those things. But I think the one thing I wanted was someone who doesn't have a quick temper, who loves the Lord above everything, and who knows the word slightly more than me.
Wow.
And what else? Yeah, prayerful, those things. Because, they mattered the most to me. So I don't remember much, but those were the things. I was so serious.
Let
How
me tell you
cheesy.
her list.
Tell
She
me.
had a long one. A very long one. The only problem with the list is I convinced her it was the list she needed. Yeah, so the list became the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a list?
For what? I had
So
only
to help
one-
you
I had
choose.
only one
Let me tell you, you
requirement.
notice that we're opposite each other. Opposites attract.
Really?
I had only one list. I needed someone who knew God. That's all.
That's all.
I didn't want someone who is talking about God. I needed someone who knew God. That's all.
You went for character more.
Oh yeah, because when you date other people and you realize, well, it's not about the height. it's about the heart for God.
It's not the height, it's the heart.
Yes.
Okay, that's deep.
Yeah, at the same time, I think it's good to have those, what you call them, wishes and desires of what you want to do. It's just like a guideline to what you want. But in actual sense, it's not, yes, there are people who say they got exactly that,
Yeah.
but it's not what attracted them to that particular person. Life has a way of showing you who you are,
Yeah.
even when you're not looking. As in, you go looking for the hard for the darkened and the lightened one, and then you realize, oh, the one that was not like that was actually what I was looking for. I just didn't know until I found out.
Okay.
It's life.
So it's good to have desires, but don't close your mind. Don't have a closed mind.
Yes, because what you want sometimes is not what God wants.
Exactly.
And God has a perfect thing for you, perfect person for you.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're limited in our thinking. You know, God's ways are higher than ours.
Yeah.
And so what He has for you may be totally different
and better.
Yes, you're looking for tall, dark, and handsome, and He has short, light, and handsome.
Handsome is the common denominator.
So ideally, it looks like the least are required by how we grow up, because you are told from class 1 you need to be this, so you have to desire to be better. But I also think there is nobody that is set apart for you. There is nobody that the world or even God has said that this person is supposed to be for this particular person. I don't think so. It's that the circumstances around you, a situation around you, make room for you to meet the people you need. As in where you go, you are a solution to so many people, as well as you are a problem to so many people. So there are people who you will meet who belong to you. That's, you can only meet them when you meet them. So it's good to have lists, but be open-minded. A lot of women, sorry to say this, have this expectation of how their men should be. But in actual sense, they're just trying to create what lives in their mind. Ukweli ni, they may exist or not. If they exist, sawa. If they do exist exactly how you want and they are abusive, you find someone sticking there and it's not right. It's not right for someone to disrespect you because that's what you want. There are so many variants of how you would get married. The value of who you are, the value of this other person, it's important. So the list, but value first.
Wow. What attracted you most about Marcy except her voice?
Nothing.
Nothing? Interesting answer.
Yes. Marcy had, I had an email, what now is being called a blog. She was a singer I did not know at all. At all. I had never heard of Marcy at all. I had a very selfish way of looking at musicians. I felt Kenyan musicians were not doing their homework. They were not doing very well.
The Kenyan musician is right next to you.
He wasn't listening to local music.
So ask me about my Nata and Kina Hill songs, all those. I knew them, all of them. I knew the people. I knew even the backup singers, all of them. I remember actually remember once I played for someone who used to sing with Don Moy. There's a lady I would go like, I want a wife like this. And like,
wow. Okay.
She was white.
Of course. So, but no, when I met Marcy, what I went for, I wanted someone to add. I wanted a different, someone else who would add to what I was writing.
Awesome.
And we met in a place in a creative place where I would go. Weekends I would go help my friends to do videos and weddings and parties and such, just as I was learning the art. So this particular day, she was coming to sing to the wedding I was supposed to shoot, and she really did well. As in, she didn't sing her song, she sang a hymn. And I went like, I want this one to sing in my wedding.
Wow.
So I went to ask her for that. Later she came to we were also paparazzis. We would, as we are taking the pictures for video, we would make sure we have enough photos to sell. Because by the way, that was the way we were getting paid.
Yeah.
So,
that was quick money.
Quick money.
So when she came to collect her pictures, I asked her about writing. She said yes. And it started, then it ended. There wasn't much of what I would say, like, now this is a life and death situation. I didn't want to force her. At the same time, I really wanted to keep tabs with her, because what my goal was, she must sing in my wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. She didn't sing, even if I pay, after paying her for singing.
I didn't sing his wedding.
You didn't?
I was like, other people can sing, not me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What has kept your relationship, your marriage together for the last 12 years?
God. God himself. And of course, asking God for direction and asking God to keep us, really it's been around God and wisdom, of course. Yeah, because wisdom, we learn wisdom is what builds a house.
Wow.
Not love, it's wisdom. So we work with wisdom more than love, because people divorce every day who love each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I would think more so about now you being open-minded. With God, you realize there are no fixed things. Today you will wake up with one truth. Tomorrow you learn another one. So you have to keep on growing in this other person. For me, she's become the person that I did not know existed, but I should not have existed without. Wow. There's no way what would I have been hoping to get? This person understands me, this person wants the best for me, this one plans for me, this one is praying for me, this one forces me, this one is this person who becomes my best friend, who is my best enemy. As in every mixture of all the things. And I think the only common denominator is that when we go to God, I want to be responsible for the person that God gave me.
Yeah.
I want to be trusted with what God gave me and what I ended up doing with it. So for me, the fear of God with her keeps me grounded. I have to go and reconsider what I thought I knew. I have to come every day knowing, though I feel like I should not see you, you are that person. So I need to get this done.
Marcy, did David's career qualify him as a spouse you'd want in your life?
Our story was interesting. His career was such that he was prospering in business, and but God gave him a passion also for music and musicians. After now we met, because he began to realize that a lot of musicians are struggling because they don't have people to, there are many issues that come from musicians. So he was very passionate, not just about me, but also about other musicians that we met, because the reality on ground is musicians go through a lot.
Yeah,
they
do.
look like they're fine on public. And so he was passionate about those issues. And so somehow our sense of purpose just gelled together. Yeah.
And that is how you know that this is a match made in heaven.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, it is, because you realize it as you go on. You know that God was in it. Yes. Sometimes at first maybe you're like, well, when you start having the first arguments on that first year. We'll talk about the first year, right?
Yeah, we will.
And you start having arguments, you start to think, well, what is this? But as you go on and God begins to show you things about each other, you're like, okay.
This is why.
This is why God actually I do a lot of personality things, and where I'm weak is where he's strong, and you begin to realize, oh, okay. So our differences are to make each other better.
Ish.
Yeah.
So David, how do you handle Marcy's popularity? I know you're her manager. How do you handle that?
How do you handle it?
Carefully.
She also wants to know.
Carefully. I don't take it like it's her I'm handling. I take it as a ministry given by God into my hands. I don't take there is a person who is known by the name Marcy, and then there is a ministry that is Marcy.
Wow.
So I have, it's my duty to now go decide now this I'm dealing with Marcy. I know how to deal with it according to how I know Marcy.
Okay.
But about ministry, there is a whole book guideline of how to deal with that, so it's not very hard. At the same time, it's really humbling to realize that all through my life, everything I learned was for her.
Eventually.
Yeah, as in the whole thing I learned about the business, the video editing, the radio product, everything I was learning how to do business, how to talk to people, how to. Then you come. The moment she showed up, by the way, every business I had stopped.
Wow, uli graduate sasa ukachana biashara.
Then immediately she comes in, and that's why I realized.
There's a difference.
There's a difference, okay.
Because I had done a lot, just like every young Kenyan. You have to survive one way or another. I didn't have any silver spoon when I was growing up, so I had to find a way to survive. Go through college, come through everything by myself, because my mother would not have been able.
Okay.
But now, or to find out later that everything you were learning every principle you are learning was like towards a goal, but you didn't know the goal. But trusting God is beautiful because though He didn't tell you why you are doing all those things, He rewards you properly.
Eventually, it all makes sense.
As in, it's better than any kind of employment.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you used to believe in about marriage that you no longer believe right now?
No, you go past.
We have very many expectations of what a marriage is, and we come into marriage plates, the whole field of marriage, expecting what we know, how our parents did, how our uncles and our sisters did, which is so wrong. As in, my sister comes home after being beaten, and in my head, I believe marriage is a very, very violent thing because that's what I've seen with my mom, and then I see it in my sister. So don't talk to me about marriage. I actually got very late to get married because I didn't really trust the whole institution
of marriage.
As in, I saw mom sacrifice a lot. Then she would be beaten properly because she didn't have any other option. She was a teacher. I should say this. She was a teacher, very qualified, but she left work to be a housewife because she cared so much for the children. She got very many children. She got 9 of them, but she didn't have any values. We ended up having to even beg for food in a place where my father was very successful, so we could not talk about the whole story to anyone. No. So I saw mom struggle in the name of marriage, and I didn't like it. I didn't believe it was of God until now. When I stand now, I got saved quite early. So in church, my pastors would be different. Other people would talk about different things. Then there was the world, which was saying, from where I come from, we are very unromantic. So I'm thinking, if this is if the marriage is for me to be what I am not, and then I go suffer like this, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I'm disqualified. Sour. I'm okay with that. But I have come to know marriage now differently. It's let me call it a fellowship. It's a congregation of so many things that make it very beautiful. It really depends with how you take the values of each other and what you want to grow. If I see what I need to grow in Marcy, there is a way. We will make sure we are doing that together. Like now, we are growing in business, and it wasn't her idea, neither was it mine. She sees this, I see this. We come in and we bring. So whatever I have learned and whatever she has, we bring it to the table and choose properly. Now, this is what we can do, this is what we cannot do. And it's easier. So marriage isn't just me and her and having children. It's growth. It's church. I don't need to go to any church if I don't have this church right.
Wow.
It's everything.
Okay. How about you?
I think when I was getting married, I thought I want someone who doesn't have, who doesn't argue much. And so So when we were getting married, I was like, us, we're different. We don't argue, we don't fight. And well, after a few months, we were fighting, and I was going home. I'm like, I'm done.
For real?
Yeah, we had serious ones. And and so I think what I did not know is that it's healthy to argue, to disagree and to argue in a respectful way. And so I think that was an unrealistic expectation I had, that we would always be talking nice. Always, no, I realized we're totally different. And so the arguments are important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you handle the conflict, the arguments, the disagreements?
I think as we have gone on, we've realized that just respecting each other is important. As much as we may not, we make peace as soon as possible. I think we're doing better with age. We're doing better with age.
Like wine.
But we tend to agree in a lot, so not much of a struggle.
Okay.
But I should say, we finish our arguments. We do go through the whole channel of the argument.
Oh, you don't leave it pending?
No, we don't, because we realized.
And then he talks a lot on the argument. You're like, oh yeah? Oh yeah?
You're the listener.
This is me trying to be respectful. But it's hard listening to this, he'll go and go and go and go, and me, I'm just one word. So at first I'd go one powerful word that would slay the giant, So it doesn't work that way.
And then when you leave the arguments hanging, you carry them over. So it's better you just, whether you don't understand, make sure it is over. Or whether you decide to go, okay, sawa, you're right and I'm wrong. Ama, kaa hivyo ni kaa hivi. But iishe. If it doesn't end, it will be repeated.
And we must be also quick to forgive. Because there are times, someone could be tired and they have a certain reaction that's very irritating. It's good to have a short memory on some things.
Especially the wrongdoings of somebody else.
Yes.
Do you feel like most men who have the African culture, most of them just end up not having successful marriages by all means?
Let me answer. There is nothing like African culture. It's what we want to believe. If someone like today meet any man and they want to enjoy life, they have beautiful dreams, they have great achievement lined up for them. But when those things frustrate them, they get into the excuse of, no, that's not how we behave. That's not who we are. Ukweli ni, give this guy the money he wants for the plans to work, and he will not be that. So that is just an excuse. That is just an excuse that now this, I don't believe. Yes, it affects how we grew up. But if you really value this person that has come to your life, you can make sacrifices. You can make room for them. You can change what you know and know better. You can. So if I want to go how my father did, I beat my wife now because she was beating my mother. No.
Wow.
It's not. It's
and the
just
fact that your father was beating doesn't mean that you have to repeat it. You can break that.
You can
so there are people who go like, it's in our family. We are
it's
hungry.
in our blood.
It's in our blood. We are hungry. We beat wives. We drink. You see, you can beat that when your mind is transformed by the word of God.
In your 12th year of marriage, can you remember a darkest? It's 13 now.
14 almost.
Almost 13 in August.
13. Yeah.
Can you remember a darkest phase you faced as a couple?
I think our darkest phase was when we got married. I think David lost everything. He lost money. He was gone the bad way.
What?
The official way. But then he wasn't able to follow it up. Then that's what we were depending on to sort of like move ahead in life. So coming out of now you're in debt and and things have gone wrong. It takes a while to come up again. So it took for us almost like 3-4 years to come up again. And so financially we were struggling. We didn't see meat, but but God took care of us. We can't complain. And so that was us. I think that was the darkest time. And then we were also not at that place where we were saying we were self-aware to know that money is affecting us. So we would have serious arguments,
And you don't know the sources because of the lack of money.
And then at the same time is when I'm starting to have babies. I'm having complications with children. And there's all this pressure, rent, there's every, real pressure. And so, and my career is not growing as such. And his is also not growing, so we were stagnated until we began to ask our pastors, we are bewitched. Could it be in our blood? It's an African thing that we think everything is our blood. But anyway, but God was preparing us. And of course, that school was very important for us. That's where SHULE YAKO came from. And that school was important because it helped us to be better at planning, to grow. And I think most families begin without a very clear plan. And of course, that helped us now to make it more clear what we want to do.
Okay. I want us to talk a little bit more about finances, but let's take a short break. thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Nashukuru sana. So as we continue, I'd love to ask you, Marcy, how would you define submission as a wife?
It is power and authority, is it? Yes, it's power and authority.
Please explain in layman's language.
It's like the commando. It's like the commander of the armed forces, or the army general, under the rulership of President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean he's not powerful. He's extremely powerful. He can turn things around in the country.
He really
do
can.
a coup d'etat.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, so he can do a coup d'etat, but he chooses not to, because God is a God of order, and so it's power and authority.
Okay, preach. What does Marcy do that makes you aware that she's a submitted wife?
Yeah.
She argues on everything.
That was not the answer I was expecting, but tell us.
As for someone to be submitted, they need to know who they are. It's impossible for someone to be submitted if they don't know who they are.
Okay.
If I come with a stupid idea and she doesn't say because she's submitted, that is not submission, that is foolishness. It doesn't respect me because I'm doing the wrong thing. It does not give us value for where we are going. So when I say she argues about everything, is everything I come up with, which she points out the foolishness, like immediately, no, this can work only like this and that. So for me, at least she thinks about where I am. She thinks about who I am. She thinks about the future we have. So for me, her submission is her questioning.
Wow.
If she doesn't question, then I should be very scared.
But in a respectful, it depends on what tone.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay. That's an interesting definition of submission. I have never thought about that.
If Marcy doesn't ask me about the things I'm doing, I think I'm scared.
Okay.
Because it only takes some time before what I'm doing, I can't see through all of it. Okay. Then it comes crumbling down and we are the two of us remaining, and I have to explain to her why I did this. So I don't want to explain if she didn't ask.
Awesome.
Because I wasn't alone in the decision. And since I have brought it on the table, then it's not my decision to make. Okay. It's our decision.
Yeah. And I think it's easy because what he's saying is he learned that I'm always right.
Oh, wow.
And I think you get to a point sometimes when you're sober as a woman, because there are times you're not, when you're sober, whereby, and especially there's a book we were reading in our book club, and we're saying, if your wife or husband is someone who prays and walks with God, listen to them. And especially if you know they're not crazy. Wow. Yeah, so most of the time I'm not crazy. So I think one thing that he has learned through God is when he doesn't listen to me, something fails. And it's again the whole aspect of God has put things in me that he needs and things in him that I need. So it's a complementing
you complement each other.
Yes.
A woman isn't. The Bible tells us that she's a weaker vessel, but that doesn't mean they're powerless. In any way, what the Bible has, I don't want to go all preachy, but what the Bible has for a woman
is, preach this for 1 hour.
Is man was made, then God caused him to sleep and brought out a woman out of his lips, and then this was supposed to be his help mate. Who do you ask for help? Do you ask for help for someone who doesn't have or who has?
Who has?
So the woman has what the man needs. That means if whatever the man is, they need the woman to get their help. Meaning the woman is actually the donor.
She's powerful. He says that and I feel like, oh yes, I wish more men would hear that, because it makes you, we don't fight about certain things.
As much as we sinned and we fell, and then this was the reason it wasn't supposed to be a good thing that God did. That now your authority will be, you will be under this. You will be. It is a sacrifice for a woman to be under a man, because their mind, they think with their two sides of the brain. they have more capabilities and capacity than men. They can think and see things men can't see. They can do things more at the same time than men can do.
Wow.
Meaning they are actually a powerhouse, but now because we fell, brought down under here. It doesn't mean when you come back to Christ, you are restored back to that particular power that you have. You can help a lot of things. You have so much capacity as a woman. The only reason we have issues with that is we grew up knowing women is someone to be disrespected, because that's what the fallen nature of man brought about. The abuse of the power. The same case we're seeing everywhere. Every power that we've been accessible to, you find people abusing it. They don't really understand the power. That's why they are abusing it. Submission should not be an issue of who is higher than the other. It's do we respect each other to understand each other,
Wow.
to give each other room.
Wow. And there can be no understanding without respect.
Yes, and you cannot respect anyone if you do not have the ability to know that you should. So again,
Without
go back
a
to the
revelation.
Bible, go back to the Bible, the manual of what we should be.
Wow.
Yes.
Earlier on, you were talking about finances. Who handles finances between the two of you? Let me guess. David?
I wish.
I thought he's the manager, so
Well,
We
tuko
did.
ground.
the different.
We did the best thing. The best answer I can give you is we have actually experimented to see who actually is a good manager with money. I am a spender.
Oh, I
I
thought
am a
Marcy the
serious
I look like a
spendthrift.
spender?
Yes,
How?
I mean,
Again, it
Yeah.
comes
Women.
from-
Total opposite.
It comes from how we grew up. I
Okay.
grew up denied a lot of stuff. So the moment I find money,
You
I
want
feel
to
like I
get
should
everything.
do so much. Not even for me, even for the people around me.
Yeah.
oh,
As in, I will do everything for mom because I feel like she has been denied a lot. But this grew my appetite to spend.
wow.
That no money is enough for me to spend. Not for me, but for the people around me.
Okay.
So when I did that for some time. Then we found out we're actually not marching upward. We are stagnating. Our decisions financially are stagnating because we have spent all the money we have. They look like they're important. Tell me, I'll explain to you. The things I'm buying feel like very important.
Very
But then,
important.
wisdom demands that we come back and sit down and decide what actually works for us.
Wow.
And she has been amazing
The money manager.
at the money management.
Thank you.
Though I'm still not okay with it.
Yeah.
Why are you not
She
okay?
still limits my spending. So,
Yeah. You see, one thing I have is the ability not to spend at all.
For real?
Yes. He has that amazing ability to clear all the money.
I
So-
think I totally understand him
Yeah.
because I also feel like when I have money, I want to buy everything I want.
Yeah. But you see, every couple needs to have a financial plan.
Yeah, sure.
And it's so much on how much you save than how much you use. So if
Okay.
you're able to save now, you're able to have more investments and more passive income in the future.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so I became a money manager.
Okay.
And then we went through a couples and money class. We worked with a few mentors.
Yeah.
We also learned the importance of working with people who,
accountable.
people who we're accountable to, and a financial advisor.
Okay.
So, yeah, our life is very, we live like paupers.
But you'd rather be able to save the money than lack the money
You'd
at
rather
all.
live small.
No,
Yeah.
no, please don't continue. Don't say save. Don't say save.
It is hurting you.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I would wish rather than save money
Yeah.
in some account,
Yeah.
it is saved in some work. We say
Investment.
this
Yeah.
something is going and it's bringing in money. I know that I should do, but now the activation must happen when there is money, which is where she comes in.
Okay.
What I wish for finances is any couple, please hold back.
Yeah.
The things are sweet to spend, they are good, but they are so foolish. Yeah? They are so foolish at the end of the day because what really matters is what did you end up with, as in.
And one of the most amazing things from our studies and from our mentors is people who make the most money invest little. But people who make the least money, someone who's a gate man, could have more property after in their 50s and 60s than someone who was a CEO earning over 500,000 more than that. And it's because our appetite grows, and so it's important for couples to live humble lives and self-control, and knowing that we are stewards of what God has given us, and it's not ours, it's God's.
This is guided by the fact that our cultures and our mentality as it is I want to be seen because I'm popular. I want to be seen driving the best, living in the best area, wearing the best, the most recent iPhone. It's beautiful, but it is so empty because the money you're spending on doing that lifestyle is really not worth spending. You can do so much more with the same kind of money that could give you a beautiful future, so slowly and so consistently that it would grow. The millionaires we have didn't start with the money. They didn't also save in a bank. They found a way to multiply financial the money.
Discipline.
There is no way you're going as much as I want to spend. I had to make the decision to like hand over the baton. I'm not able to do this. Otherwise, we are not going anywhere because we keep on spending. Yes, we have agreed we are not spending, but the next moment, it's no money. We need to invest here. We can't invest the money we used here. And it's really frustrating when you're not moving. But also, again, I would say for every couple, you need mentors. There are people who know how to do things you wish to do, things you have even dreamt about that you want to do, or where you see yourself in 10 years. If you don't plan, if you don't put actions to the ground, you're just dreaming.
Nidoto. Amazing.
It doesn't come out because the small money, let me say this, the small money that you enjoy spending can actually hold a bigger part of your future if you restrain yourself to wait for it. But the money you have is your capital. We just learned, let me share one concept. We just learned that from 18 to 25 is a building. It's like you're trying to search for who you are and who you are. Then from 25 to, it's you trying to accumulate everything else that you have.
25 to 45.
From 45 is you trying to actually now find the purpose of why you lived. Why did you then do all these things? Why did you go here? Why did you land here? What have you been doing? What investment is playing in? Consolidating. Bringing everything that you have learned together. And from then, from 65, it's you now to transfer to the other reason you are living. Your children and your children's children. Because they will be coming. And if you don't make plans for them, who will?
I think it's important. One thing I've seen quite common is when people just sit and wait for a miracle to happen, because it's important to get out there. Even when we didn't have money, David would go outside and come na sombili, because he did something. And so it's important for every one of us to still continue to dream, because for us children of God, we live by faith. And so one of the things that is crucial, don't just sit there and wait to die. Do like the leprous guys, go out there. Continue to pray, continue to believe God that this could be the one. I believe failure is important. If you fail 10 times, you will learn from all those 10 times. Because a lot of people fail, and by the 5th time, you are dying of depression. You need therapy. So, so what I'm saying is encourage yourself. Keep trying, keep trying. You never know. One of those things could work. And the Bible says that keep doing this, do this, and eventually something will work. Of course, focus on one. But there are times that what you're focusing on is not bringing in any money. So do other things to make money. And so if you're in that financial mess, if you go out today, hata kama utasukuma gari ya mtu,
do it.
So that is something.
By all means.
So, and then the other thing is don't put this. You can be self-employed.
Yes.
That's a what? Self-employed. You don't need to wait for someone to employ you.
Sure.
It just may never happen. For us, we didn't wait, and we have worked our way by faith and by God's grace, and we have seen it work. Giving is key. We give recklessly, and we have seen the results.
And God gives those who give.
Pressed down, shaken together,
running over. Wow.
I have a lot to say about that. First of all, there is nobody has enough money.
Hey, how can you ever have enough money?
What you have is just enough. Believe it. Even if it's the lowest that you have, because you realize nobody owes you the money. not your parents, not your colleagues, not your friends. They don't know you the money that you feel they should. Nobody is holding your money. You actually are so powerful that God designed you a masterpiece in such a way that you can succeed with very few steps. You just have to stand up, reason out with yourself, and start working.
Awesome.
Whatever it is that you can work. We just figured out the other day that there is no field that is better than the other. The engineer may look down on a tailor, but the tailor is a millionaire, and the engineer has always been employed and never has enough
the
money.
amazing thing about life.
As in, the mkokoteni guy, unaweza mdharau kwa barabara, but he actually has 70 of the mkokotenis. He makes more money than you who have to wait for not enough money, not by the end of the month. There's so much wealth in your thoughts, but it has to be lit the right way.
There was a mentor of ours who was telling us how they were pledging in church. He's a leader, so he pledged 1 million, and his gate man pledged also 1 million. True story. True story.
Okay.
And the gate man pledged 1 million. And so the pastor is like, how can this gate man pledge 1 million just like I have pledged? So he goes, asks him, so how are you going to raise this 1 million that you pledged? He says, every morning he's dropped by a border. So of course, every one of us is coming with a big car. Every one of them is coming with a big car, and him is coming with a border. He's dropped and the border goes. He has a string of borders bringing in money, not several. And he's the gate man. Not only that, where he lives in a mabati house. He has other houses within that compound that are mabati houses that are his. And it's small, but it is passive income. So he's not working there because he needs the money. He's working there because that was his capital, and he loves the job of meeting people.
The pastor.
Yes. And so the amazing thing is you'll find that a lot of people who earn a salary of 300,000 are not able to give them 1 million, as because they don't have it, because they've spent all of it. And so nobody should ever look down on the other, because it depends on how much you use your head. So if you're a CEO, you should humble yourself, because your gate man will be the one with what you need in the future.
Awesome.
At the same time, I think from being locked in the house to a place where we can even help someone in our house, I've learned one simple lesson. You don't know you have until you actually have nothing. You have so much, but you're wasting it looking at what you haven't gotten. You have so much with you, but you're looking at the other person thinking, I wish I had this. What you have is irrelevant to you until you lose it. Then
that's so true.
There's so much we can do. Nobody should be in a financial mess per se. What we need to do is look at where we are, confidently stand with my values are this is what I wish to do. Start consistently, however you can. If it means saving, save wisely. There's so many ways of saving. You can save in a bank. You pay the bank. Sorry, I'm not against the bank. You pay the bank to get your money. They use your money to make money, and you will be penalized if you actually don't keep the habits. But you can invest the money. There's so many ways you can invest money that you can get. The second thing, please, I pray everybody should run from debt.
By all means.
You will come to me and tell me sijui nini, go get loan. It will make you a slave. Believe it now before you become one. If you don't, try.
When you got your firstborn, what changed about your marriage?
We had more fights.
Why?
I'd be crying for no reason. That's a real, I wish people would tell me that it's called what? There's sort of like a post something,
Postpartum. I think so. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Postpartum depression.
Yes. So I had that. I had blood pressure, so I'd furad, and what changed was I felt like, wow. I think I had pressure because I didn't know what to do so much. And then, but David was so handy with the babies. What changed is, of course, that time our financial issues were major. And so, that's when we realized that finances can really break a marriage. And so, of course, we grew. I think the one thing that happened is we realized we have to grow up. You wake up to the fact that you have now responsibilities beyond yourself, and that you have to be selfless. And so what changed is we became more serious and focused about our life and our purpose. So that way we were able now to, plan better as a couple.
Do you think it strengthened your marriage in any way?
Oh yeah. At the time, no. Now, yes. At the time, I wasn't thinking. I was like, no. Nothing was working. Then when you're going through depression, you kind of don't know what is working and what is not. So, but God is good. We got to that point where we were honest to each other. And God has really helped us.
I've heard of women who feel like they're in a marriage where they're not appreciated enough by their husbands, and they feel like if I can have a kid with this man, marriage is going to be stronger. Do you think that is true?
No, I don't. I don't think kids make marriages stronger. I think it's how much you put in the relationship that makes the relationship stronger. Because kids is maybe that person is manipulating. That's not a relationship.
That's a manipulation.
Yeah, that's witchcraft. And so it's wrong to manipulate someone, so that they can keep. No, it doesn't work. That's not love. And so wisdom and love keep a marriage. Not manipulation and love. No.
Moving forward in your marriage, what is the one thing you're looking forward to have accomplished as a couple?
What I want to accomplish 50 years from now is that we actually managed. We managed through it all to be able to be standing. And be really wealthy. Wealthy in understanding and in wisdom. That is what I wish for. And because I don't have an option of working out, even if she doesn't want, we'll have to go through this. We have to go through this. We are already here, so we have to go through this. But we have to go with it in a way that will reward me, reward what we are doing, and we enjoy. What we enjoy is growth. We didn't know this before, but we love learning. We love growing. Every time we learn something together, it sticks so well that it becomes a highlight every time. So as long as we are learning, we will succeed.
Awesome.
I think one of the things that I desire is that the tools that God has given us, we will be able to use them and multiply them. You remember the 5 talents multiplied what they had and brought in a profit. And God loves productivity. And that the gifts and the talents that God has given us as a couple, that we will make the most of every opportunity and bring in a harvest.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so my prayer is that we'll be able to discover the ones that are hidden, and already what we have. To whom much is given, also much is expected. And so we have a lot. Just with something as small as a mustard seed, you're able to move a mountain. And so with just the little gifts, as little as they are, whether it's talking a lot, or talking a little, that we will be able to bring in. Be fruitful.
I really appreciate your time. This has been so informative, so insightful, and I'm pretty sure our viewers have learned so much. So thank you so much for everything you have shared.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure. Such a huge honor. Thank you so much for your time.
Amen.
Lady or gentleman, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this episode. We were having Marcy, Masika, and David Muguro, the Muguros, and I believe there is a lot you have learned from them concerning their marriage and something you have taken up that you can use for your own benefits. If you have such a thing, be sure to send in a comment and we are going to appreciate. I'm your host Rosita. Until next time, bye guys.